Amorim makes his first major signing at Manchester United. City set to land Olmo on a free transfer. Nico Williams departs La Liga for the Premier League, and Ronaldo's next club will shock everyone. These are just some of the big stories in today's episode. Welcome to Score Time, and let's dive right in. Remember when we were all trying to guess where Cristiano Ronaldo would go after settling in Saudi Arabia? Well, it looks like the real drama is just beginning. Rumors are swirling that Ronaldo is seriously weighing 3 possible paths for his future. And all of this is happening amid growing doubts about Al Nassr's ability to win the AFC Champions League. You know the tournament we're talking about, right? Cristiano may not be a young prospect anymore, but one thing remains unchanged. His ambition is still sky high. He's not the kind of player who's content with just showing up. He craves trophies and wants to keep winning. And that's exactly where the problems start at Al Nassr. It seems like he'll need to have a serious conversation with the club's management. Something along the lines of, guys, how are we going to win this cup? I need some strong teammates to help carry these matches. And honestly, that makes perfect sense. Ronaldo is a machine, but time eventually catches up with everyone. He's no longer 20, capable of dominating entire games on his own. He needs a solid squad around him to maintain his high level of performance. So, what are the 3 options Cristiano is considering? The first, and probably the most straightforward, is extending his contract with Al Nassr, but it's likely to come with a condition: a major squad overhaul. He'll push for stronger signings, possibly using the appointment of the club's new general director as leverage to secure the right transfers. He clearly wants the team built around him, which is exactly what we'd expect from Ronaldo. No surprises there. The second option? A return to Portugal. Imagine Cristiano back at Sporting, dazzling fans in his home country once again. But honestly, this seems like the least likely choice. Just my take, but it's fun to consider. And then there's the third option. Are you ready for this? Walking away from football entirely. Yep, just like that. But there's a twist. His plan seems to be retiring after leading Portugal in the 2026 World Cup. Now that would be a legendary farewell. Of course, things can always change. If Al Nassr somehow pulls off a shocking AFC Champions League victory, who knows? Ronaldo might decide to retire even earlier and end his career on a high note. Meanwhile, some reports are suggesting an even crazier possibility. Rumor has it that Ronaldo might leave Al Nassr for, any guesses? No. Not PSG, though there were whispers about that too. For Al Hilal, yes, Al Nassr's biggest rival, if you can even call them that. But why would they want him? Well, it turns out, Al Hilal sees Ronaldo as the perfect addition for the Club World Cup. With Neymar's future looking uncertain, reports say he's already 90% on his way out. Al Hilal is considering Cristiano as a high-profile replacement. And since they're not exactly eager to extend Neymar's contract, it makes sense why they'd be looking at a big-name star to fill the gap. Sounds like a wild conspiracy theory, right? Ronaldo jumping from one Saudi club to another? But honestly, this feels like part of a bigger strategy. Maybe the Saudis are just playing the long game, stirring up excitement, keeping their league in the headlines, and making sure the world keeps talking about their football. After all, Ronaldo is a walking headline generator. At this point, the whole Ronaldo saga feels more like an ongoing spectacle rather than just football transfers. It's as if the hype surrounding the moves is just as important, if not more, than the actual matches. So, what do you think Cristiano will do? Will he stay at Al Nassr and demand big signings? Make an emotional return to Portugal? Or stun the world with a move to Al Hilal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your predictions. Who knows? Maybe one of you will guess correctly. And don't worry, we'll definitely keep following this story to see how it all unfolds. If the latest reports are to be believed, some of Europe's biggest clubs are already lining up to sign Milos Kerkez. Just picture this. Manchester United, Chelsea, and even Liverpool are all in the race for the Hungarian star. And you know what? It looks like the Reds might have a few key advantages in this battle. First off, Liverpool already have Dominik Szoboszlai in their squad, who just happens to be Kerkez's best friend from the Hungarian national team. And let's be honest, that kind of connection could be a huge factor in influencing his decision. Secondly, Liverpool's sporting director, Richard Hughes, is the very person who originally brought Kerkez to Bournemouth from AZ Alkmaar. Having someone with that kind of history and trust in your corner can make a real difference. This alone could give Liverpool a serious edge in negotiations. Now here's what makes this even more exciting. Kerkez isn't just another young defender. He's the real deal. At just 21 years old, he's already making a name for himself in the Premier League for the 2nd season running. Fast, aggressive, and relentless on the pitch, he's widely regarded as one of the best young players in his position. And here's something else to consider. Bournemouth seem to be preparing for life after Kerkez. Reports suggest they're actively looking for his replacement, which makes you wonder, are negotiations already underway? It wouldn't be surprising, especially since the club will likely try to get the highest possible fee for him. Speaking of price tags, rumor has it Bournemouth value Kerkez at around £40 million. maybe even £50 million. That's a hefty sum. But considering he still has 3.5 years left on his contract, the Cherries are in no rush to sell. They're pushing for European football themselves, so if they do part ways with him, it'll be strictly on their terms. But here's where things get tricky. Finding a suitable replacement in this transfer window won't be easy. That alone could make Bournemouth hesitate before letting him go. Now back to Liverpool. It's worth noting that they're planning to shake things up at left back. Andy Robertson is now 30, and Kostas Tsimikas isn't exactly getting any younger either. So bringing in someone like Kerkez would be a smart long-term move, especially given his skill set and potential. That being said, we can't rule out Manchester United. As we all know, they've also had problems on the left side of their defense, so they won't give up easily in this race. This transfer battle is shaping up to be intense, and it's hard to imagine Bournemouth letting go of such a key player without a fight. All in all, this situation is getting more and more intriguing, and we'll be keeping a close watch on how things unfold. But what do you think? Where do you see Milos Kerkez playing next? And is he really worth the price being discussed? Let us know your thoughts. It looks like Arsenal are making a serious move for Athletic Bilbao winger Nico Williams. According to insider reports from Football Transfers, the Gunners are prepared to splash £58 million on the 22-year-old. That's a hefty price tag, no doubt. But in today's transfer market, eye-watering figures like this have become the norm. This brings us to an obvious question. Why does Arteta need Nico Williams in the first place? First, let's talk about Bukayo Saka. He's sidelined for several months due to injury. Frustrating, unfortunate, but that's the reality of football. With the right flank left vulnerable, Williams seems like the perfect solution. He's fast, technically gifted, and capable of playing effectively on both wings. It's clear that Arteta isn't just eyeing him as a short-term fix, but as a long-term reinforcement for Arsenal's attack. That said, let's not jump to conclusions just yet. The transfer window is notoriously unpredictable. Not too long ago, there were talks about Chelsea supposedly loaning Raheem Sterling to Arsenal to fill the right-wing gap. And, well, that didn't exactly happen. It's not that Sterling is a bad player, but let's be honest, he hasn't been the game-changer some expected. So, Arsenal's interest in Williams isn't just logical, it's essential. He wouldn't just be a backup for Saka, he'd bring real competition to the attack. Now picture this attacking setup. Martinelli on the left, Williams on the right. Trossard ready to step in. What a front line that would be. Arteta would have so many tactical options, making it easier to switch formations and adapt to different opponents. It would add a whole new dimension to Arsenal's attack. And if the rumors are true, negotiations with Williams' agent are already well underway. Arsenal scouts have reportedly been tracking him for quite some time, which suggests the club is seriously considering this move. This isn't about throwing money around. It's about making a calculated decision to strengthen a key position. £58 million is a lot of money, no doubt. Williams has a release clause, which should make negotiations smoother, but agreeing on personal terms is another challenge. Plus, there's always the risk of other clubs entering the race. Still, there's a real possibility we could see Williams wearing an Arsenal shirt very soon. And honestly, he looks like the ideal signing. Quick, skillful, and a real attacking threat. He's the kind of player who can change a game in an instant. And with his best years still ahead of him, this wouldn't just be a short-term fix, it would be an investment in Arsenal's future. Of course, there are plenty of debates to be had about whether this move is the right one. But one thing is clear, Arsenal's management is actively working to strengthen the squad, and that's definitely a positive sign. Now, over to you. Do you think this transfer will actually happen? Does Arsenal even need Nico Williams? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Let's discuss. The latest transfer rumors suggest that Martin Zubimendi is at the center of a fierce battle between some of Europe's biggest clubs. Arsenal, Liverpool, and even Real Madrid are all reportedly in the race for the talented midfielder. Now that's an elite lineup of potential suitors. You might remember how, at the start of the season, Zubimendi was heavily linked with a move to Liverpool. It seemed like a done deal. Bags packed, contracts ready. But at the last moment, he chose to stay at Real Sociedad. Now Real Madrid have reportedly entered the picture, showing interest in bringing him to the Bernabeu. Honestly, it makes perfect sense. Let's face it, Luka Modric isn't getting any younger, and Madrid need to start planning for life after him. They need fresh talent in midfield, and Zubimendi seems like an ideal candidate. He has already proven himself as a key player for both his club and the Spanish national team, making him a logical target for Los Blancos. But let's take a moment to talk about Arsenal. The Gunners are in clear need of a midfield upgrade, and if we're being honest, Jorginho isn't quite at the level he once was. Arsenal need a long-term solution, and Zubimendi could be the perfect fit. Just imagine the level of control he'd bring to their midfield. Calm, composed, and solid defensively. Pairing him with someone like Ødegaard could make Arsenal's midfield even more dynamic and balanced. Of course, convincing Zubimendi to move to London won't be easy, especially after he turned down Liverpool. However, there's one key factor in Arsenal's favor: Mikel Arteta. The Spanish coach has reportedly spoken highly of Zubimendi in the past, and having tactical guidance from someone who speaks the same language could be a game changer. Arteta is known for his ability to persuade players, and that could play a major role in negotiations. Then there's Liverpool, who are still very much in the race. After coming so close to signing him last summer, the Reds appear determined to make another attempt. New manager Arne Slot is said to be a big admirer of Zubimendi, seeing him as a perfect fit for his system. And with Liverpool needing more depth in midfield, it makes sense that they'd push hard for this transfer. Zubimendi's contract includes a release clause of £51 million, which is a big number but not outrageous in today's market. The real question is, will Liverpool be willing to pay that after missing out on him before? And of course, we can't ignore Real Madrid. They're always a serious contender in any transfer battle, especially when it comes to top Spanish talent. If they truly set their sights on Zubimendi as Modric's successor, Arsenal and Liverpool will have a tough fight on their hands. The allure of playing for Madrid, competing for Champions League titles, and being part of a legendary squad could be a tempting offer for any player. Right now, Liverpool seem to be the most determined. After missing out on him last time, they won't want to let another opportunity slip away. But Arsenal, with Arteta's influence, are a strong contender. And then there's Real Madrid, who are always a powerhouse in the transfer market. So, who will win the race for Zubimendi? Can Arteta convince him to join Arsenal? Will Liverpool take another gamble and go all in? Or will he choose the bright lights of the Bernabeu? As always, there are more questions than answers. Let's wait and see how this saga unfolds. The situation at Manchester United has hit a critical point, and waiting until the summer transfer window to improve the squad is no longer an option. December 2024 stands out as the club's most disastrous month in over a century, marked by 6 consecutive defeats. The Red Devils now find themselves in a humiliating 14th place in the Premier League, just 7 points away from the relegation zone. Ruben Amorim, the recently appointed manager, has a monumental challenge ahead, especially with the team struggling to score goals. However, the potential signing of Sporting striker Victor Gyökeres might be the game-changer United desperately needs. Gyökeres, who excelled under Amorim's guidance at Sporting, could be the key to lifting the club out of its dire situation. The initial excitement that surrounded Amorim's arrival has quickly turned into growing concern. Since taking over in late November, the team has managed only 6 points from 6 games. Amorim is trying to implement his high-energy 3-4-3 system, which relies on ball control, short passing, and intense pressing, a formula that worked wonders for him at Sporting. But adapting it to United's struggling squad has proven challenging. The upcoming January transfer window presents Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos with an opportunity to back their manager, despite financial constraints. Selling players like Marcus Rashford, Casemiro, or Antony could provide the necessary funds to strengthen the squad. The team's most glaring issue is the absence of a reliable goalscorer. Rasmus Højlund, while promising, has managed just 7 goals in 22 matches. His potential is clear, but expecting him to lead the attack at Old Trafford may be too much, too soon. He lacks the finishing instinct needed at this level. This is where Gyökeres becomes crucial. The Swedish striker had an incredible year in 2024, scoring 62 goals across all competitions and becoming Europe's top scorer. This season, he has already netted 27 goals for Sporting, including 5 in the Champions League. Since Amorim joined United, interest in Gyökeres has only intensified. However, United faces stiff competition from Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Chelsea. Amorim's presence at United could give them an edge, but losing Gyökeres to a rival would be a significant blow. Gyökeres is a strong and technically skilled player who could elevate United to a new level. Initially, Amorim hadn't planned to pursue Gyökeres during the winter transfer window, especially given the striker's €100 million price tag. But the severity of United's crisis, a squad plagued by low morale, has changed his stance. According to reports from the Daily Star, Amorim now views Gyökeres as a must-sign player in January. Delaying until the summer could prove disastrous for United's season. Gyökeres has the potential to not only save United from relegation, but also help them rebuild towards their former glory. Although Gyökeres lacks experience in Europe's top leagues, his outstanding Champions League performances and undeniable talent make him a standout option. United must act swiftly. Relegation would be a catastrophic outcome, and even survival might not be enough to convince Gyökeres to join a struggling side. Amorim has openly admitted that relegation is a real possibility, a statement many interpret as a plea for Ineos to provide him with the necessary support. He remains committed to his methods and principles. United's current predicament can largely be attributed to Jim Ratcliffe's decision to extend Erik ten Hag's contract, a move that now appears to have been a mistake. It's time for Ineos to take corrective action, and signing Gyökeres could be the first step in turning things around. The big question remains: can Victor Gyökeres be the savior Manchester United so desperately needs? It seems that a fierce battle is brewing on the horizon for Trent Alexander-Arnold. So, what's the situation here? Well, the word on the street is that Liverpool have offered Trent an absolutely staggering deal, a 5-year contract worth $78 million. All of this insider whispering suggests a desperate attempt to keep him from being tempted by a move to sunny Spain, to none other than Real Madrid. Let's not forget that Trent's contract expires this summer. The same goes for Salah and Van Dijk. While Liverpool fans might feel slightly less nervous about the latter two sticking around, the situation with Trent is, quite honestly, a cause for concern. The Spanish giants aren't sitting idly by, and reports suggest that Carlo Ancelotti himself is eager to bring the right back to Madrid during this transfer window. A £20 million offer is already on the table. However, Liverpool is standing firm like a brick wall, refusing to even entertain the notion of a January departure. Fair play to them. You've got to fight to keep your top players. That said, Real Madrid is no pushover either. Rumor has it they're prepared to offer Trent a lucrative deal with wages of around £300,000 per week, similar to Liverpool's proposal. But here's the catch: if Trent decides to move this summer as a free agent, he will likely demand a hefty signing bonus. And honestly, who can blame him? That's just how the modern market works. This leaves Trent facing a tough decision: stay with his boyhood club, where he's already a fan favorite and has the chance to go down in history as a true cop legend, or give in to the allure of donning the iconic white kit of Los Blancos, joining the most decorated club in football history, and playing alongside his good friend Jude Bellingham. It's undoubtedly a difficult choice to make. Liverpool appears to have laid all their cards on the table. Financially, they've done everything they can, and as reports suggest, Trent hasn't even demanded the captain's armband as part of his negotiation. Though it's said he feels confident he'll eventually inherit the captaincy when Van Dijk's time at the club comes to an end. A fair assumption, if you ask me. Trent himself, true to form, is staying professional and not making any public declarations. He recently mentioned that all of his previous contract renewals were handled quietly, without any fuss, and this time would be no different. Well, we'll see about that. If Trent ends up leaving Liverpool on a free transfer this summer, how will the fans react? On one hand, it's always frustrating to lose a homegrown talent, especially for nothing. But on the other hand, let's not forget how much Trent has already contributed to the club, the trophies he's hoisted, the memories he's given to the fans. It's hard to blame someone for making a career decision like this. After all, it's his future, his choice. Personally, I wouldn't hold it against him if he decided to make the move to Madrid. It's an understandable decision. Perhaps he's looking for a new challenge and fresh experiences, and Real Madrid certainly provides a unique opportunity in that regard. But there's always another side to the coin. At Liverpool, Trent plays alongside a squad of world-class players. At Madrid, well, that might be a topic for debate. On the flip side, joining Real could allow him to reach new heights in his career. And of course, we can't ignore the Bellingham factor. Jude is rumored to be a key figure, potentially paving the way to the Bernabeu for Trent. In the end, Trent now faces a career-defining decision. Will he continue to write his story at Liverpool, or will he chart a new course with the Galacticos, chasing new triumphs in Madrid? That's the big question. For Liverpool, losing Trent would be a huge blow. The £78 million offer is their way of showing they are willing to do whatever it takes to keep him. But the allure of Real Madrid is a tough force to compete against. Many, however, believe that if Trent stays at Liverpool, he could become a true legend, a hero of his hometown. What do you think? Will Trent stay loyal to Liverpool, or will he pursue new challenges with Real Madrid? Share your thoughts in the comments. It'd be great to hear what you all think. So what's going on at Barcelona? Well, it's nothing short of a disaster when it comes to registering Dani Olmo. Yes, the same Olmo they signed for €60 million in the summer. And what's the problem? La Liga and the Royal Spanish Football Federation have both said, sorry, not happening. Just like that, The fans' hopes of seeing Olmo play this season have been dashed. It's a major setback. Barcelona isn't a club to back down easily, though. They tried to push for Olmo's registration, but in the end, they were unsuccessful. According to Rumours, they now have two options: either engage in a long legal battle trying to prove they did nothing wrong, or Olmo might have to look for a new club where he can actually play this season. It seems almost absurd, right? For Olmo, this situation is nothing short of stressful. He joined a top-tier club like Barcelona to shine on the pitch, but now he finds himself stuck, but not on the playing field, on the legal sidelines. Despite all of this, reports suggest that Olmo isn't ready to leave just yet. He's apparently saying, "I'll wait and hope." Admirable, but let's be real. Time doesn't wait, and neither does a football career. Meanwhile, Manchester City is reportedly keeping an eye on Olmo. After all, he's a player who scored 5 goals in just 11 matches and showed his class. Now, he might just become an unexpected target for Barcelona's rivals. If things go south for Olmo, he could end up leaving on a free transfer. Imagine this. Barcelona spent 50 million euros on him and could end up with neither the player nor the money. What a nightmare. It's almost impossible to understand how this situation even happened. How could a club like Barcelona mess up something as basic as player registration? Didn't anyone check the deadlines? Or did they think they could just get away with it? Looks like they were wrong. The deadline for registering players for the second half of the season was December 31st, and Barcelona appears to have missed it. Now, they'll have to deal with the fallout. They can still try to appeal to the higher sports council, but insiders aren't optimistic about their chances. And there's a tricky rule that says a player whose registration is cancelled can't be re-registered with the same team in the same season. So, yeah, Barcelona is in serious trouble. And when you think about it, it's almost laughable. First, they've got financial issues and are constantly talking about financial fair play. Then, they somehow managed to find the money to sign Olmo, only to fail at registering him. It feels like something out of a circus. What's wild is that rumors about this were circulating for weeks, but it seemed almost impossible for something like this to happen to a player of Olmo's quality at a club like Barcelona. And yet, here we are. English clubs are certainly paying attention. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City is reportedly closely watching the situation. While Olmo wants to stay at Barcelona, it's hard to imagine he'd be happy sitting out for 6 months without playing. Who wouldn't want to leave in that case? Arsenal is also rumored to be interested in bolstering their attack in the January window. Once again, Barcelona finds itself in an awkward and uncertain position. Will they be able to defend their case in court? Or will Olmo actually have to sit out the rest of the season? Or maybe we'll see him wearing a different shirt come January. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take.